Greetings everybody, welcome to Recovery TV. I'm here with my friend and colleague Ben, and he's going to talk to you today about 3 fears that tend to get in the way of us taking our journey of self-acceptance, so don't go anywhere. Everybody, thanks for being here at Recovery TV. Appreciate those of you that watch and support this channel. Please don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so that you can be notified when more videos like this are posted. And this is a really special video because I have my friend and colleague Ben Thompson here. He just wrote a brand new book called Liked: Finding the Acceptance That Matters Most, and he's going to talk to us about a particular aspect of this book, just one thing out of many wonderful things in this book related to the challenge and the journey of what it takes to work at becoming self-accepted. I'd like to read to you one small little passage from this book that gives you an idea of what this book is really all about. I don't know of any greater acceptance than liking who you are. At this level, you give yourself the permission to unashamedly be who you are by no longer trying to be anyone else. When you are here, you live life from acceptance rather than for acceptance. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this over to Ben.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Josh, and I'm glad to be here, and thank you for giving me the chance to just talk about this book, because I think it's such an important message that so many people can benefit from. All right, I want to talk to you about 3 fears that really keep us from taking the self-acceptance journey. If you get my book, well, it'll kind of walk you through the whole process of self-acceptance. So today we're really talking about that very first step, which I call tolerance. It's that first level that kind of sets the stage. What I found is these fears really keep you from taking that step, really even getting on that journey. The first fear is the fear of the unknown. If you're not open to something, if you keep it unknown, you can't do anything about it. And so you've kind of removed your choice to even do anything with it. And a lot of us just kind of keep the door closed to anything that makes us uncomfortable, but it's keeping that door closed again that keeps us from being on the journey in the first place. I think what you should do is probably you'd go over and you'd open that closet and look in and say, let's see what it is, right? Because it may be nothing. It might be something we don't know, but we can't do anything about it until we know. And so that whole idea is that I've got to give myself that choice by actually knowing what's on the other side. Now, the second fear is the fear of punishment. And it's really that fear of punishment that removes any sense of agency that I have. It's like, I can't do this. I can't be open to it because I'll be punished if I bring this up. And that punishment also can come from within. So sometimes we will punish ourselves for thinking things or feeling certain things. As long as we're punishing ourselves for those things, we're gonna keep that door shut as tight as we can because we don't want to experience any pain or any consequence. And again, it makes us feel like there's very little we can do. Now, what I do want to say here is if you're in a relationship and anytime you can't experience something, you do get punished for bringing up things that you're not allowed to say certain things or whatever, you need to check that out. That's not healthy for you. That's not a healthy relationship to be in, and that's where I would seek help if you're in that situation. But what I'm primarily talking about is your own fear. That if you deal with something, if you're open to something, you're going to get punished for it. And not a great place to be, not a fun place to be at all. But one that you have to address if you're going to do this work towards self-acceptance. Now, the third fear is the fear of being overwhelmed. And as I write, that fear of being overwhelmed kind of removes possibility. Now, I see this one a lot in people that I work with. It's this fear that if I open myself up to this feeling, to this thought, to this experience, or whatever, it's just going to be too much, right? I'm going to lose it. I'm going to go crazy, right? It's going to overtake me. Give you a personal story. In 6th grade, I was sitting there in math class, and all of a sudden, something just came over me, and I just started crying. Now, this is 6th grade, so this is mortifying to me, but I can't hold it back. But I'm thinking, what's everybody going to think of me, right? What's going on here? And I couldn't hold the tears back. But I got so overwhelmed by this sadness. As a 6th grader, I decided this would never happen again. I would never again be overwhelmed by this feeling. And what that turned into was spending a lot of my life trying to not be overwhelmed by that, keeping that closed down, keeping a tight hatch on that feeling. Now, in my story, in my life, I had to learn how to be open to that and how to deal with that, and it made a huge difference. But I wonder for you, what are those things that you're so afraid of being overwhelmed by, feeling like they're just going to overtake you, that you're not even dealing with them? You just keep them shut on the other side of the door. And it's those things that you got to really look at and say, okay, what am I going to do, right? How am I going to face these? So that would be the third fear that we're looking at.
Thank you, Ben, for sharing that about fear with the audience. And that's just a small glimpse of all the things that are in this book. It really, truly has a lot of valuable information, some really quotable quotes too. And so is there anything else that you wanted to mention about some of the content that people are going to find in this book?
Yeah, I do. And thank you for letting me share that and do that. You know, the book is not only about how to accept yourself, which is incredibly important, but it's working towards that level where you not only accept yourself, but you actually enjoy being around yourself. You have that experience of delight in yourself, and it's moving us towards, you know, really a greater self-expression. And you know, a lot of this was written as it seems like these days it's all about getting likes from other people, right?
Yeah.
And outside of there, and what we realized is those likes haven't made us like ourselves any better. In fact, it's almost made us more dependent on getting those.
Right.
And so, yeah, the book's about taking that back for ourselves. Like, we want to be the ones that possess our acceptance first and bringing that out, rather than this kind of outside in thing that we're kind of taught.
Yeah, and I mean, when I started reading your book, you know, one of the things that really hooked me, which really is in reference back to the quote I said earlier that I read from the book, is when you talk really about this difference of loving yourself versus liking yourself. So we throw out, you know, this idea of, you know, we really need to love ourselves. We hear that in our culture all the time, and that's true. I think we do, and there probably is a problem with that. But it's a different feel to say, I not only love myself, I like me. And so I love that you've titled this "Liked," because it definitely has that that cultural overtone to it. But I think the title definitely, you could have called it "Loved." Yeah. But it's not about that. It's about a different aspect of our existence.
And essentially, again, it's about learning to hit that like button in ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And doing that. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. And that's why, I mean, love is a level of acceptance, and it's a great level. And to be there, and absolutely we need to be there. And if you stop there, that would be wonderful, right? To get there. But this is that we're trying to push. There's even more, right? There's even more there waiting for you. And I don't know about you, but there's people in this world that you see that you're really like, I think they like themselves.
Right.
You know, and that's where I'm pushing towards that level. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving everybody just a glimpse of what's in the book. The fear stuff was really profound to me. That's why I asked you to do that. And I'm going to make sure to put a link in the description of this video so that you can go and at least read about this book and determine if you want to purchase it. But I really do believe that you will not be disappointed when you get this book. And I think that you're doing some audio recording, so there should be an audible version soon.
Yep, working on getting that out as well.
All right, awesome. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you back next time.